Good morning and good evening, everyone. So today we are going to do the three purification or cleansing practices that we have been doing as a group over the last few months. Of course, some of you, happily, some of you have just joined us, but unfortunately, this class, the schedule will be off for a while. Let's see, in what form I will continue this, but for a while it will be a little challenging since I'm going to be traveling for the next couple of months, actually. But in any case, it's good today to be able to do this three practices before I leave. So thank you for coming on to join. Of course, I always receive lots of thanks from all of you for doing the programs and all of that. But as they say, at the end of the day, there's no broadcaster if there's no broadcastee. There is no teaching to be done if there are no learning to be done. So without the interdependence of both sides, this would not be happening. It's also the truth. I'm not disciplined enough to just do this into empty space. So this is the auspicious, hopefully, interdependence, at least not harmful interdependence. I think if we can, more and more skillfully focus on at least not causing harm, then everything kind of will begin to fall in place. Sometimes, like our desire to do good, to be good, can be mixed up with fantasies about greatness. Yeah, greatness, fame, or even greatness and fame that nobody knows. Even that is a form of kind of puffing up, our own ego. Yeah. So that's why the Buddha began. So the Buddha taught a 4-line verse, deceptively simple. These 4 lines, deceptively, doesn't have these fancy kind of like mind teachings, such as like mind is empty and mind is luminous, statements like that, or form is emptiness, emptiness is form. These 4 lines of what the Buddha taught, it's accepted by all Buddhist traditions. And what does it say? The first line says, not to engage in any negativity, not to engage in any negative actions, unskillful actions. To engage in, to practice, and to cultivate all good things. Striving to purify, cleanse our mind. This is the teaching of all Buddhists. This is the teaching of all Buddhists. So he begins with not to engage in any negative, unskillful actions. That takes, lifetimes to avoid, to work on. But that's the starting point. So recently someone said to me very kindly with generous words, "Oh, thank you for the good that you're doing." I said, not humility, really sincerely. I said, "Well, I'm just trying my best not to create negative actions. Still trying very hard of body, speech, and mind. Really, not humility talk. I'm trying to minimize creating negative actions and having some success, some better success than before. So that's progress, you know, better success than before. Then if we do that, we don't have to worry too much about what kind of good that we will be doing, because I really believe, that the next step you evolve into that. Then that next step, right, to cultivate all the virtues, and then the full version of that is the Bodhisattva vow. Yeah. So the first one is the individual liberation vow, pratimoksha. Don't create negative actions. Don't cause harm. So if that vow arises, and then with the precepts and the subsidiary, the 5 precepts, the 10 non-virtues to guard against, the 5 precepts to hold, if we really pay attention to that, then whatever practice we do, even Vajrayana sadhanas, Bodhisattva practices, we do all of that. Firstly, focus more on that first line. Then, if we do it that way, we will evolve quite naturally into practicing, cultivating all the virtues, the myriad virtues, and the greatest of virtues, bodhicitta. Then it evolves into the Bodhisattva vow. And then the third, to purify the mind, to begin to really work on the deepest level, removing all the gross and subtle defilements as the main focus. That is the Vajrayana, the Samaya. Then you naturally evolve into that. And this is how I believe, my understanding of how Kyoba Rinpoche emphasizes the true meaning of practicing the 3 sets of vows, the 3 yanas. Often in the West is translated as the 3 yanas. The true meaning of practicing the 3 yanas is not about external appearances. It's the way that we are progressing and evolving into full maturity as Buddha. So truly and truly, we don't actually enter into the level that we call Vajrayana, or the secret mantra vow level in an authentic way until we reach the 8th bhumi, the 8th Bodhisattva bhumi. Sure, we do Vajrayana sadhanas, we chant, we accumulate mantras, we do all those things. Yes, that's the external form Vajrayana. As for the essence, it is something that we have to evolve into, something that we have to develop into. So now, relating it to these three cleansing practices that we do. The Achi Sang, of course, clearly has Vajrayana elements all over it. But the notion of Sang as it evolved in Tibet has more to do about external. So then you can think of that as that level of the equivalent of equivalent of the Pratimoksha level. So the Achi Sang text, of course, is not from the Pratimoksha scriptures. Pratimoksha scriptures, sutras, commentaries don't have, like Achi Sang. But we can relate to it that way, you see? That's what I mean by, even though the form clearly has all kinds of Vajrayana elements, but we can relate to that as this is helping me avoid creating non-virtues, avoid getting, entangled in causing harm to ourselves, to others, knowingly, unknowingly. Unknowingly is even scarier than knowingly. In the legal system, right? If you knowingly create a crime, they will punish you twice or double, heavier. But in the karmic system, not knowingly creating negativity is said to be more dangerous than knowingly. Because not knowingly, unknowingly creating negativity, your chances of changing very minimal. And then when suffering comes, you cannot even make the link between the suffering and the unknowingly creating negativity. You cannot even make the link. But if you know, and then due to whatever reason, even though you know you still did something negative, at least when the result comes, you're not like, oh, why, huh? ¿Qué? Because you can make the link, Once you can make the link, then you say, oh, look at that. And cause and effect has an immediate appearance, actually. It's whether we notice it or not. Sometimes we think cause and effect, only operates over long periods of time. Actually, no, in that moment that you create a cause, there is an immediate effect that is already there. Whether we see it or not is the question. And so many places in Gyoba Rinpoche's teachings, he emphasizes this. That you don't have to think of cause and effect as necessarily extending over 3 periods of time, past lifetimes, present lifetime, future lifetimes. It doesn't exclude, but the workings of cause and effect is there's a very, very immediate presence to cause and effect, and that every moment of quote unquote experience, reality, that we are going through now, all these are embodiments, all these are the manifestation of momentary mental realities. So the Achi Sang, we can, as I said, relate to it as outer cleansing. in the text, it talks about, me and what I do and how it impacts negatively my surroundings. So pratimoksha is about minimizing harming until all causes of harm purify. The Bodhisattva's confession of downfalls, we take it as inner, as the second level, to cultivate all virtues. In order to do that, we have to keep our Bodhisattva vow firm and clear. So anything that causes the downfalling, the collapse of that vow, we diligently remove, cleanse. Then third, the Vajrasattva practice is the secret level. And so there it requires more wisdom. So although the Vajrasattva practice has like the external Vajrasattva, Guru Vajrasattva cleansing us, ultimately when we do that practice, we have to remember our indestructible mind, the indestructible heroic being that we are ultimately. So we have to rely more on the wisdom. The wisdom aspect is more important. The wisdom of selflessness has to be present. And slowly, and the confidence that our nature is the indestructible, heroic one. Yeah? Briefly, as introduction to these three practices. Then all three, right? Because at the level where we are, is focused on removing. Removing what? Removing that which does not belong. First, removing that which. Actually, you could think of it as the first level is removing that which is not necessary, which is causes of suffering and suffering not necessary. A deeper level of understanding what the removing is removing that which does not belong. It's not part of Buddha nature. Removing that which does not belong is the second level. And when we have evolved from thinking, now I just need to remove that which is not necessary, that which is not desirable. That's the first level. As your practice of purification, which is what removal really means, which is what purification really means. We use the word purification. We sometimes don't even know what we mean. We mean removing. So then a deeper level of removing is based on the understanding now of that which does not belong. Now, second level. The third level, the secret level of removing, now removing what? That which does not ultimately exist. You see, wisdom. this ignorance, these mental defilements do not ultimately exist. So removing that which is undesirable is maybe the level that you and I are mostly operating on. That's why we have shopping. That's why we have medicine. That's why we have entertainment. That's why we even have dharma. Finding all sorts of ways to just get rid of what is undesirable, you know? That's why we have lawyers. That's why we have divorce. So just get rid, you know? But we now want to develop skillful way of removing that is undesirable. But when we know that we are growing is when we begin to see things not so much under the division of desirable, undesirable anymore. We begin to see more clearly. We say, no, this don't belong here. This just don't belong. Then remove. Then finally, you know, this is not real. Oh, at that level, removal is so easy. If you feel right now, you know, Vajrasattva practice, you say, I don't know. Doesn't seem, seems like just made up. Oh, this. It's because we're not at that level, you know. In fact, we cannot believe how easy it can be when you have evolved to that point of what I'm removing is actually not real. It's not truly existent. Then you have a born again moment, you know, hallelujah, I'm saved. Oh, mother sentient beings, limitless as the sky, especially those enemies who hate me, obstructors who harm me, and those who create obstacles on my path to liberation and all-knowingness. May they experience happiness and be separated from suffering. I will quickly establish them in the state of the most perfect and precious Bodhi. All mother sentient beings, limitless as the sky, especially those enemies who hate me, obstructors who harm me, and those who create obstacles on my path to liberation and all-knowingness. May they experience happiness and be separated from suffering. I will quickly establish them in the state of the most perfect and precious Bodhi. All mother sentient beings, limitless as the sky, especially those enemies who hate me, obstructors who harm me, and those who create obstacles on my path to liberation and all-knowingness. May they experience happiness and be separated from suffering. I will quickly establish them in the state of the most perfect and precious Bodhi. Thus, until I achieve Buddha, I engage in virtuous deeds with body, speech, and mind. Until death, I engage in virtuous deeds with body, speech, and mind. From now until this time tomorrow, I engage in virtuous deeds with body, speech, and mind. And in the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, most excellent, I take refuge until Bodhi is reached by the merit of generosity and other perfections. May I attain Buddhahood for the sake of all wandering beings in the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, most excellent. I take refuge until Bodhi is reached by the merit of generosity and other perfections. May I attain Buddhahood for the sake of all wandering beings in the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, most excellent. I take refuge until Bodhi is reached by the merit of generosity and other perfections. May I attain Buddhahood for the sake of all wandering beings. May all mother sentient beings, limitless as the sky, have happiness and the causes of happiness. May they be liberated from suffering and the causes of suffering. May they never be separated from the happiness that is free from sorrow. May they rest in equanimity, free from the bias of attachment and aversion. May all mother sentient beings, limitless as the sky, have happiness and the causes of happiness. May they be liberated from suffering and the causes of suffering. May they never be separated from the happiness that is free from sorrow. May they rest in equanimity, free from the bias of attachment and aversion. May all mother sentient beings, limitless as the sky, have happiness and the causes of happiness. May they be liberated from suffering and the causes of suffering. May they never be separated from the happiness that is free from sorrow. May they rest in equanimity, free from the bias of attachment and aversion. Lord Vajradhara Dilipa Naropa Marapa Milarepa Gampopa Pamodrupa Jigten Sumgon, Venerable Root Guru possessing the three kindnesses, root and lineage Gurus, Idams, Dharmapalas, pray please bestow blessings on mind stream, unequal refuge ornament of the world whose renown parades 3,000 worlds, the undisputed conqueror Vajradhara. I pay homage to you, the Father Jigten Gunpo. You alone are continually on my mind, compassionate one, please grant your blessings. Dispel the darkness of my mind, please bless me to realize the mind free from elaborations. Hung on the northwest border of the land of Uddiyana, in the heart of a lotus flower, endowed with the most marvelous attainments, you are renowned as lotus born, surrounded by many hosts of Dakinis, following in your footsteps. I pray to you. Come inspire me with your blessings, Guru Padma Siddhi Hung. In the Dharma Dhatu palace of Akarnishta is the essence of the Buddhas of the three times, who directly reveals my mind as Dharmakaya. O root Guru, at your feet I supplicate. I am Vajra Yogini, instantaneously above my head is protector of three worlds, Rana Shri, abiding naturally as a Nirmana Kaya. From the Bum seed syllable in my heart emanate Ram Yang Kang that purify all the impurities and stains of the offering substances. Then the syllables Om Ahung emanate, which transform the immaculate essence of the offering substances into the nature of the elixir of primordial wisdom, turning then into substances that are agreeable to each of the types, entirely filling the limitless 3,000-fold universe. Ahung, ahung, ahung. Nama sarva tathagate Vayo Bisha Mukhe Vyasarva Takang Ungate Saparana Hemangagana Kang Soha. Nama sarva tathagate Vayo Bisha Mukhe Vyasarva Takang Ungate Saparana Hemangagana Kang Soha. Nama sarva tathagate bhayo bishamukhe vyasarva taka ungate saparana hemangagana kang soha. Free from the innate nature that is spontaneously present since the beginning, I invite and request the protectors of the teachings to come to this birthless, perfectly luminous secret mandala, Yudhakinis who magically appear from the activity of primordial wisdom, supreme guardians who abide by the command and oath, manifest magical forms from the Dharma Dhatu. Worldly and primordial wisdom emanations and retinue, with your hearts and mayas roused, please come here. From the expanse of the excellent airs or space ablaze with turquoise light, specifically from the azure crag of Mule at Turdum, great elder sister Achi Nanangza. Please come here to tame all venomous enemies and obstructors, magical apparitions of elusive forms emerging from the sphere of primordial wisdom, are the deities, exalted activities, wisdom, samaya, and magnetizing. Guardians of the conqueror's teachings, each according to their own type, retinues of pacification, enrichment, magnetization, and destruction. Cries of longing yogins calling out like a dragon's roar with welcoming substances, silk ribbons and hands beckoning. I bring forth offering clouds of cleansing smoke, an ocean of elixir due to your samayas. Come here to this place of unsullied samayas. Samaja ja hong bam ho ala la ho he bhagavan akarasaya samaya ja. Shri Goddess Lady of Space, along with your entire retinue, please be seated happily, each according to your like. I bring forth oceans of offering clouds, both physical and visualized. With devotion I praise and pay homage with body, speech, and mind. Here now at this place and in this supreme year, at this excellent juncture, when the planets and stars are in favorable positions with the aspiration prayers of all majestic foe destroying Buddhas for the exhaustion of the generative factors, may I achieve in its entirety the true meaning of this life as I make this cleansing offering to you, deities. Now let ghosts, demons, mishaps, and obstructors disperse to their own abodes, cleanse and purify obscurations and impurities. Here, with various supreme medicines that clear the afflictive emotions, fine as silks, jewels, incense, and aloes wood, sandalwood, cedar wood, fragrant fir, juniper, dwarf, rhododendron, birch, and so on. All these types of fragrant and ambrosia woods, flour, butter, milk, and various types of food and drink, we make these clouds of pervading smoke of this cleansing offering. For you, glorious root and lineage gurus, we cleanse. For you, Idam Vajrayogini, along with retinue, we cleanse. For you, protectors of the teachings, chief lady of space, Chukidroma. For you, exalted activities, Dakini, wisdom Dakini, Samaya Dakini, and magnetizing Dakini. And for you, the three goddesses who devour, slay, and snatch away, we cleanse. Heart-shaking mother and raiser to the life force, wrathful red mother of exalted activities, along with retinue, along with all your assemblies of thousands of dark red flesh eaters. For all your matrikas and dakinis without exception, we cleanse. For you the powerful Lady Tashi setting of the supreme crystal tresses of the Himalaya. For you, the goddesses of the four families, the five sisters, consort, and retinue. And you, 12 Tenmas, along with your retinue, we cleanse so that the Gowe gods and the multitude of family guardians, the guardians of the precious teachings of the Kaju and oceans of sworn guardians, protectors, the Samaya keeping yogins, we offer this cleansing. As this touches the deities and us, the evil of defilements from Samaya breaches, defilements from violations of vows, quarrels, filth, and demons, those coming from contact with corpses, rape, incest, infidelity, and fouling of hearts, all these foul defects are cleansed, and with us we become pure. In this way, with this profound ritual of bathing and cleansing smoke, the guardian deities are pleased. Violations and breaches are mended, all obstructive and discordant conditions are quelled, and all our wishes that accord with the Dharma are abundantly accomplished. Here now with lofty praises to the guardian deities, glory to Chokidroma. With these outer, inner, and secret support substances, glory to Chokidroma. With these various desirable offering clouds, glory to Chokidroma. With music of devotional songs of praise, glory to Chokidroma. With mantras, mudras, and samadhi, glory to Chokidroma. Superior to the pinnacle of cyclic existence, glory to Chokidroma. Brighter than the sun and moon, glory to Chokidroma. Good as with filling jewels, glory to Chokidroma. Full like a summer lake, glory to Chokidroma. To spread the never-waning teachings of Buddhas, glory to Chokidroma. To guard and fulfill the ultimate accomplishment of disciples, glory to Chokidroma. May the guardians and humans not be separated, all the excellent glories, wealth, power, and blessings of the animate and inanimate, of the environment and inhabitants in samsara and nirvana, I now bring together these enriching presences, prosperous fortunes swirling like an ocean. By the great might of all you guardians, guard the jewel of the essence teachings, increase, develop, and stabilize the holders of the teachings for us who are unerring and our retinue. Increase auspiciousness and resources in our abodes, and when we are away, repel all bandits and hostile forces, dispel harmful gossips and laws now and in the time to come, spontaneously bring about all these benefits. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Tenopati Tadido Membawa Sudokayo Membawa Supokayo Membawa Anurato Membawa Sarvasiddhi Mempreyacha Sarvakama Sujame Chitam Jaya Guru Hong Ha Ho Bhagavan Sarvatatagata Vasamame Muncha Bajribhava Mahasamaya Sato Vajrasattva Samayam Anupalaya Vajrasattva Tenopati Tadido Membawa Sutokaya Membawa, Supokaya Membawa, Anurato Membawa, Savasiti Membawa, Savakama Sujame, Chitamaya Guru, Savatataga, Vetrama Memunja, Bajribhava Mahasamaya, Sato, Bhadra Sato Samaya, Anubalaya, Bhadra Sato Denoba, Tita Dido Membawa. Sutokayo Membawa, Supokayo Membawa, Anurato Membawa, Sarvasiddhi Mempreyacha. Sarvakama Sujame, Chitam Jaya Guru Hong Ha Ho Bhagavan Sarvatatagata. Bhadramame Muncha, Bhadribhava Mahasamaya Sato. All sentient beings continuously take refuge in the Guru, take refuge in the Buddha, take refuge in the Dharma, take refuge in the Sangha. Homage to you, Bhagavan Tathagata, Arhat, completely and perfectly awakened sage of the Shakyas. Homage to thoroughly conquered with Vajra essence. Homage to radiant jewel. Homage to King of Naga Lords. Homage to leader of the heroes, homage to heroic delight. Homage to jewel fire, homage to jewel moonlight. Homage to meaningful vision, homage to jewel moon. Homage to stainless one, homage to giving of glory. Homage to pure one, homage to giving of purity. Homage to water God, homage to God of water God, homage to glorious goodness. Homage to glorious sandalwood, homage to infinite splendor. Homage to glorious brilliance, homage to glorious without sorrow. Homage to Son of non-craving, homage to glorious flower. Homage to you, Tathagata, pure brilliance, manifold display of complete omniscience. Homage to you, Tathagata, lotus brilliance, manifold display of complete omniscience. Homage to glorious wealth, homage to glorious mindfulness, homage to widely renowned glorious name. Homage to King of Victory, fairness that crowns Indra. Homage to glorious, utterly complete subduer. Homage to utterly and completely victorious in battle. Homage to transcendent through complete subduing. Homage to glorious, all illuminating array. Homage to jewel lotus complete subduer. Homage to you, Tathagata Arhat, completely and perfectly awakened, jewel lotus firm as King of mountains. May you and however many other Bhagavans, Tathagatas, Arhats, complete and perfect Buddhas who are abiding in all the realms of the worlds, the 10 directions, all you Bhagavan Buddhas, please turn your attention to me. Over the course of this and all other lives in samsara without beginning or end, whatever wrongs I may have done, have caused others to do, or have rejoiced in their being done, whatever possessions of stupas, possessions of the Sangha, or possessions of Sanghas of the 10 directions I may have stolen, have caused others to steal, or have rejoiced in the stealing of whichever of the 5 actions of immediate retribution I may have done, have caused others to do, or have rejoiced in their being done. Whichever of the 10 non-virtuous actions I may have engaged in, have caused others to engage in, or rejoice in their engagement, whatever karmic obscurations there are, by which I become a hell being, or one who goes to the animal realm, or to the land of the pretas, or to birth in border regions among barbarians, or among the long-lived gods, or that would lead to incomplete sense faculties, or holding wrong views, or to not rejoicing at the appearance of a Buddha. I confess all of these in the presence of you, Bhagavan Buddhas, who have primordial wisdom, who are witnesses, who are authorities, who know and see. I admit them and do not conceal them. Henceforth I vow to refrain from them. All you Bhagavan Buddhas, please turn your attention to me. Over the course of this and all other lives in samsara without beginning or end, whatever causes of virtue there may be from my having given gifts to others, even as little as a mouthful of food to an animal, whatever cause of virtue there may be in my having preserved discipline, whatever cause of virtue there may be in my having maintained pure conduct, whatever cause of virtue there may be in my having caused sentient beings to mature, whatever cause of virtue there may be in my having roused a mindset on supreme awakening, whatever cause of virtue there may be in unsurpassed primordial wisdom, combining, gathering, and collecting all of this together, I dedicate it to the unexcelled, unsurpassed, most excellent, the most exalted, the most excellent. I dedicate it to unsurpassed, complete, and perfect awakening. Just as past Bhagavan Buddhas have dedicated, and just as future Bhagavan Buddhas will dedicate, and just as the Bhagavan Buddhas of the present in all directions are dedicating now, I also fully dedicate in the very same way. I confess each and every misdeed. I rejoice in all merit. I request and entreat all Buddhas. May I attain sublime, supreme, unsurpassed primordial wisdom. Supreme among humans, victors now present, those of the past and those yet to come. Your praiseworthy qualities are boundless like the ocean with folded palms. I fully go to you for refuge. if someone has the four sessions Guru Yoga PDF, please share in the chat for Zoom. Otherwise, those of you who are on the WhatsApp group for DDIS should also have the four sessions Guru Yoga text. In there, there's a section that I'm going to read out during our Vajrasattva purification meditation. Yeah, it's not traditionally included in that, but I have found that to be very inspiring, very helpful to include. And so just my own kind of addition. So if you are able to open that text, which I think Renee has shared, it starts on page 20 of that text later on, not right now. Right now, we do the guided meditation on Vajrasattva. Of course, there are Vajrasattva texts, and some of you also have that when you are practicing yourself, you may want to recite the text or follow that text. But what we have been doing in this daily practices is that I have been doing it more in the form of a guided meditation. I think sometimes when we have sadhanas, we get into the mode of just chanting. Then the real work, is not being done, actually. So now just let body and mind again settle naturally. You yourself is in your ordinary form. This body that consists of the four elements of solidity, fluidity, heat, and motility, movement. Our physical body consists of these four elements built up together to form this physical body. So even take a moment to look at this physical body of yours, almost like you're standing outside, of your body and looking back at your own form, your own body. How solid it is, how weighty, heavy, sitting in one place. Just looking at it like that. Then very suddenly, instantaneously, in the space above your head, about an arm's length height, you can adjust that height accordingly, appears a Hung syllable sitting on a lotus. And in that lotus, there is actually a white moon seat, a cushion, white in color, and the Hung is resting on that cushion. Then this Hung syllable transforms into a crystal Vajra. In the center of this Vajra, the Hung syllable remains. From this Hung syllable, rays of light radiate to the 10 directions, reaching the Buddha lands, going to all the Buddha lands. And turning into offerings to all the Buddhas and the great Bodhisattvas, the great Arhats of the 10 directions. This is a symbol of the accumulation of wisdom. Then lights go out again, this time going to the beings of the 6 realms of existence, and purifying them of their obscurations. This is a symbol of the accumulation of merit. After the perfect accumulation of both wisdom and merit, these lights reabsorb into the seed syllable, and in that moment, that seed syllable, together with the Vajra, turns into Guru Vajrasattva. Guru Vajrasattva is young, healthy, strong, male in form, with two hands holding a Vajra and bell, sitting majestically with one leg, with the right leg slightly extended and the left drawn in. And he's decorated, ornamented with silks and jewels and crowns, appearing in a princely form. Know that he is the union of all Buddhas of past, present, and future, and recognize him to be your own Guru. There's no Guru, there's no guide that is not Vajrasattva. Vajrasattva, the indestructible heroic being, is our Guru, because this is also the very essence and nature of our minds. Vajrasattva is alive, resplendent, with his hair tied up in a top knot, and with some flowing down his shoulders. In his heart is a moon cushion again, with the syllable Hum in the center, and surrounded by the syllables of the 100-syllable mantra. Now lights again radiate out from this Hum syllable. And this time, as the lights go into the six realms, every single being of the six realms, when touched by this light, when illuminated by this light, they all turn into the form of Guru Vajrasattva. This is training for us, training in pure perception, and see that all the physical states of the six realms are turned into the pure land of Vajrasattva. And these lights reabsorb into this syllable. And now, from that syllable, flow streams of elixir that fill Guru Vajrasattva's body completely, like a crystal vase being filled by a milk-like substance, so much so that it overflows from Guru Vajrasattva's opening at the top of his head, and as well as a cascade of nectar, elixir flowing out of Guru Vajrasattva's right big toe. And that cascade of elixir falls immediately down to you, entering your body through the opening at the top of your head, cleansing and washing both inner and outer, cleansing and washing that which ultimately does not exist, but temporarily they are experienced as that which is disagreeable, and then that which doesn't belong, but in reality, that which is not real. And therefore, Vajrasattva's elixir can easily remove that which is ultimately unreal, temporarily experienced as disagreeable, temporarily experienced as that which does not belong, but in reality, that which does not exist in any substantial way. Vajrasattva samaya anupalaya Vajrasattva denoba deda deda membawa Sutokayo membawa Supokayo membawa Rato membawa Sarvasiddhi mempreya cha Sarva karma sujame chitam shreya guru hong ha 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 ho Bhagavan sarva tathagata Vajramame munja bhajre bhava mahasamaya sato Vajrasattva samayam anubalaya Vajrasattva teno bhartishta dedo membawa Sutokayo membawa Supokayo membawa Anurato membawa Sarvasiddhi mempreya cha Sarvakama sujame chitam shreya guru hong ha 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 ho Bhagavan sarva tathagata Vajrama me munja Vajre bhava mahasamaya sato Vajrasattva samayam anubalaya Vajrasattva denoba tishta dedo membava Sutokayo membawa Supokayo membawa Anurato membawa Sarvasiddhi mempreyacha Sarvakama sujame chitam shreya guru hong ha 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 ho Bhagavan sarva tathagata Vajrama me munja Vajre bhava mahasamaya sato Vajrasattva samayam anubalaya Vajrasattva denoba tishta dedo membava Sutokayo membava Supokayo membava Anurato membava Sarvasiddhi mempreya cha Sarva karma sujame chitam shreya guru hong ha 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 ho Bhagavan sarva tathagata Vajrama me munja Vajre bhava mahasamaya sato Vajrasattva samayam anubalaya Vajrasattva tenoba tishta dedo membava Sutokayo membava Supokayo membava Anurato membava Sarvasiddhi mempreya cha Sarva karma sujame chitam shreya guru hong ha 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 ho Bhagavan sarva tathagata Vajramame munja Vajre bhava mahasamaya sato Vajrasattva samayam anubalaya Vajrasattva tenoba tishta dedo membava Sutokayo membava Supokayo membava Anurato membava Sarvasiddhi mempreyacha Sarvakama sujame chitam shreya guru hong ha 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 ho Bhagavan sarva tathagata Vajramame munja Vajre bhava mahasamaya sato Vajrasattva samayam anubalaya Vajrasattva denoba tishta dedo membava Sutokayo membava Supokayo membava Anurato membava Sarvasiddhi mempreya cha Sarva karma sujame chitam shreya guru hong ha 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 ho Bhagava sarva tathagata Vajramame munja Vajre bhava mahasamaya sato So part of the visualization is when the elixir enters you, all the accumulation of negative deeds, all the habit patterns, all the obscurations, all the faults and the failings, they all flow downwards and leave your body in the form of dark, smoky liquid, pushing downwards, pushing downwards. The white milk-like elixir is cooling down, cooling things down. And all that which is oppressively hard and heavy, they all dissolve, 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 and go down. Then your body becomes clearer and clearer and clearer. Your flesh and blood and that body that is consisting of the four elements, all that is being fleshed out so that you yourself begin to take on a crystal-like body. Still in your ordinary form, but crystal-like, no longer solid, no longer built of the four elements, but instead filled with the elixir of Vajrasattva. Oh, Now you want to see your body completely crystal clear. Now looking towards Guru Vajrasattva, we do this supplication as well as, you could say, a type of confession. This is from the 4 sessions Guru Yoga text, starting on page 20. We look towards Guru Vajrasattva and then we pray in the following way. Look upon me from afar with eyes of compassion, reckless and mundane, although I meditate on the rarity of the freedoms and endowments, I still squander away my life. Look upon me from afar with eyes of compassion, reckless and mundane, although I meditate on impermanence and death, I still fixate on composite phenomena as permanent. Look upon me from afar with eyes of compassion, reckless and mundane. Although I meditate on the unmistaken nature of cause and effect, I still pervert what to adopt and what to abandon. Look upon me from afar with eyes of compassion, reckless and mundane. Although I meditate on the sufferings of cyclic existence, I still take the way to the lower realms. Look upon me from afar with eyes of compassion, reckless and mundane. Although I safeguard the vows of individual liberation, I still lack renunciation and the determination to be free. Look upon me from afar with eyes of compassion, reckless and mundane. Although I meditate on all wandering beings as my parents, I still have bias attachment to friends and aversion for enemies. Look upon me from afar with eyes of compassion, reckless and mundane. Although I cultivate loving kindness and compassion, I still hold on to envy and enmity. Look upon me from afar with eyes of compassion, reckless and mundane. Although I cultivate aspiration and action bodhicitta, I still focus only on my own welfare. Look upon me from afar with eyes of compassion, reckless and mundane. Although I meditate on my body as the deity's exalted form, I still cling to ordinary perception. Look upon me from afar with eyes of compassion. Reckless and mundane, although I have counted the mantras to be recited, I still waste away my life force. Look upon me from afar with eyes of compassion. Reckless and mundane, although I cultivate the samadhi of the moon in the water, I still solidify things as real and substantial. Look upon me from afar with eyes of compassion, reckless and mundane, although I conclude by dissolving in the subsequent stage, I still purify and confess superficially. Look upon me from afar with eyes of compassion, reckless and mundane, although I meditate on my own mind as free from elaborations, I still have conceptual attitudes. Look upon me from afar with eyes of compassion, reckless and mundane. Although I cultivate not grasping at whatever arises, I still affix an artificial watchfulness. Look upon me from afar with eyes of compassion, reckless and mundane. Although I meditate on resting freely in the natural state, I still amplify artificialities. Look upon me from afar with eyes of compassion, reckless and mundane. Although I meditate on unity beyond conceptions, I still get carried away by the masses of likes and dislikes. Look upon me from afar with eyes of compassion. Reckless and mundane, I supplicate you who are my refuge and protector in this and all other lives. Physician who removes the chronic illnesses, diseases of samsara. Hero who vanquishes the enemies that are afflictive emotions, sun which dispels the darkness of ignorance, moon that protects from the heat of suffering, jewel which fulfills all our needs and desires. You, Guru, who are all-inclusive and all-sufficient, I supplicate you from the depths of my heart. With compassion, swiftly heed me, effortlessly bestow your blessings. Grant me now and on this seat the naturally accomplished feast of the two benefits. I am endowed with both merit and devotion, so do not leave my hopes unfulfilled. Don't cast away my devotion in vain. Don't let my supplications vanish unanswered. Don't be indifferent with your compassion. Refuge and protector in this life, in the intermediate state and beyond. Whatever occurs, joy or sorrow, good or bad, only you are my hope. Look upon me with eyes of compassion. You alone are my hope. I and others have ignorantly violated our samayas. Protector, please protect us, foremost Vajra holder. Foremost among wandering beings, please be our refuge and guide. By supplicating in this way, Vajrasattva is pleased with us. Smiling, he says, your evil deeds and obscurations are now cleared. Then think that Guru Vajrasattva dissolves into light, and that light enters you through the opening at the top of your head. And in that moment, in that very moment, you yourself appear in the form of Vajrasattva. By the power of this virtue, may we swiftly accomplish Vajrasattva and raise all wandering beings without exception to that very same state as well. Now we go back to the opening prayer and dedication booklet. First supplication to Guru Rinpoche. Guru Rinpoche, Buddha of the three times great bliss, source of all siddhis, wrathful subduer of maras who removes all obstacles. Grant your blessings, we pray. Through them may all obstacles, outer, inner, and secret, be quelled, and may all our aspirations be fulfilled. Sublime, precious, venerable, and glorious root and lineage gurus, assembly of Idam deities, Buddhas and Bodhisattvas dwelling in the 10 directions, and all assemblies of Viras and Viranis, Yoginis and Dakinis, please heed me. May the virtues collected in the three times by me and the entirety of samsara and nirvana and the inherent root of virtue not result in the eight worldly dharmas, the four causes of samsara and the resultant states of hearers and solitary realizers, and may all mother sentient beings limitless as the sky, particularly those enemies who hate us, obstruct us, who harm, those who create obstacles, maras who mislead, and their mara retinues have happiness, be separated from suffering, and quickly attain the unsurpassed, perfect, and precious Bodhi. By the power of this vast root of virtue, may we benefit sentient beings with body, speech, and mind. May the afflictive thoughts of attachment, aversion, ignorance, pride, and jealousy not arise in my mind stream. May thoughts of name, fame, gain, respect, and so forth in this life not arise for even a moment. With my mind stream moistened by love, compassion, and bodhicitta, may I become a virtuous spiritual friend with good qualities limitless as space. May I achieve the supreme attainment of Mahamudra in this very life. By the virtues collected in the three times by me and the entirety of samsara and nirvana, and by the innate root of virtue, may I and all sentient beings quickly attain the unsurpassed, perfect, complete, precious Bodhi. Bodhicitta, excellent and precious mind, where it is unborn, may it arise; where it is born, may it not decline, but ever increase higher and higher. Changchu Sem Cho Rinpoche, Ma Ge Ba Nam Ge Gyu Che, Ge Ba Nyam Pa Me Pa Yang, Gong Ne Gong Du Bil War Shu. Okay, we have done all the three practices. So, if you are not going anywhere in the next couple of months, you can continue, your daily practice. Many of the classes that we have done, they are posted on the Drigong Dharmakirti YouTube site. Under the Gongchik teachings in particular, and it's called the Brief Gongchik or something like that. There's a playlist there. And then there's also explanations, more detailed explanations of the Achi Sang practice also on the Drigong Dharmakirti YouTube website. Various shorter, longer teachings are all posted there. Our volunteers have done a good job, really, in organizing them into the right playlists There's also a section called Drops of Wisdom. I don't know, drops of words, which is shorter, like 10 minutes, 5 minutes, kind of excerpts from the different things that I've said that some people have found to be useful. And then they message us and say, hey, that section is really useful from this minute to this minute. Then somebody goes in to edit that out and create a new video. So that's the playlist called Drops of Wisdom. So anyway, now I have to go pack. The flight is in a few hours, but it's a lot easier when the flight is second half of the day rather than right in the beginning of the day. So now a little bit more time to waste, dilly dally. So thank you so much, all of you. Also, some of you in the last couple of days sent some offerings to Jigong Dharmakirti for us to take to Nepal. I want you to know that we got that, and we're going to take to Nepal and join in the effort in the ocean of merit that we will hopefully create and dedicate to everyone. So take care and stay tuned.
Safe travel.
From Nepal.
Buen viaje, Dr. Lopon.
Thank you. Gracias.
Buen viaje, Dr. Lai.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Safe travels.
Thank you, Dr. Lai.